because you can't just like take AI off the shelf and buy it and then you say, yay, we have AI.
Hi, I'm Satu. I work in GenAI Empowerment.
Hi, I'm John. I lead the team for GenAI Lab.
We're here to talk about the future of GenAI. So looking at where this is developing, so far a lot of focus has been on the chatbots. So you have the chatbot, you discuss with it, and it is a very open-ended use point. So what I'm seeing, and I'm wondering if you're seeing the same thing, that it goes more granular, that it goes into the workflows and processes and automations, where the task is far narrower, in which case it is also easier to test it better and to evaluate the functionality of it.
Let's say that an agentic workflow basically is then something where the AI decides on tools to use and then does subtasks, which then feed back the context, which then get evaluated and reflected on, and then fed back into the user after an evaluation process. Of course, we have then, instead of having just one AI call, we probably have 20 or 30 calls before we're done, but we have a much better formed answer, and we have sources, we have references, we have everything that we need. So we're seeing that the tasks that we're giving to AI are becoming more and more precisely defined. So we're giving parameters to search tasks, and we're giving document metadata searches, for example, for document retrieval, and we're doing similarity searches and text searches at the same time, then combining them and so on, and then walking back the whole way again and compiling kind of the context into the original question. And then when you get the answer to the original question, we still reflect on it and see, does this actually answer what the user wanted? And then repeating if needed. And so the single tasks are becoming more and more granular, more and more specialized. And that also means, in my opinion, that the AI models that we can use for this become smaller and smaller as well.
Of course.
Because if you have a tiny model that can do a simple fetch, why would you use then the largest model to do that task as well? Because it's expensive.
Yeah. And which comes back to the environmental aspect of it.
Exactly.
The smaller model, the less compute is needed, and the more economic it comes, like environmentally friendly.
And I've been thinking as well about the agentic workflows, is that the one key thing actually that is there is when the user asks for something, or let's say when people ask for something, they have a lot of hidden meaning in their questions.
Yeah.
They ask like, do you want to go for lunch? There's a lot already in that. It's like there's a time, and there's today, and there's like, does it fit into your calendar? Otherwise, have you eaten already, and so on?
Yeah.
And all of these things, basically, you leave them out, and you ask a person this, and they understand it. But if you ask this from an AI, it doesn't understand the kind of the big picture, and there's where the orchestration comes in. So we ask for a report on for example some function, and then the AI needs to figure out, okay, what does a report look like? Why does the user need this report? Is he preparing for a meeting? Is she doing a talk? What's going on? And these questions are then something that really drives also like, how do you actually do the task itself? So previously we've said often that you need to precisely tell the AI what you want, why you want, and how you want it. And that then drives kind of the proper prompting. When we're working with these flows that for example, snatch a snippet of a conversation from a Teams transcript, where somebody says that somebody needs to do something by Friday, then the agent needs to figure out, where do I put this task? How do I connect to Jira? Do I put this in a to-do? Do I send an email? What do I do with this? And then they need to know that, like the context of it. And that's where orchestration basically comes in. So you need to have a very strong orchestration functionality in the AI as well. So first you need to do the proper planning, like how do you do this task? And then you need to give the tasks to the sub-agents who then perform the tasks, and then you need to gather them together again. There's a lot of orchestration going on there.
And that's why you also really need to involve the people doing those processes because you kind of need to get into their head in a way of what do they need and what is the context. Because this is something that is a problem with prompt engineering, is that a lot of it is so clear that, of course, everyone knows this, that we assume, like, we don't even think that it's context that the AI would need, but the AI does not understand. It predicts the next word. It needs all of the things that we don't even think to add to it. So it really does need this kind of external view of what is actually happening, how to break that apart so it gets all that. What are the integrations needed? What is the data? And how to combine that in a way that it does. It's so simple of just do what the user asks, but it is very complicated to actually achieve that.
Yeah. You need to understand the need in order to formulate a good plan on how to actually do it. And that's where I think the big part of future projects is going to be, is to properly formulate what it is that you actually want the AI system to do, because you can't just like take AI off the shelf and buy it and then you say, yay, we have AI.
Yes.
It's actually a lot more work that goes into it. You can get the technical capabilities up and running like that, but then you need to actually do the prototyping and testing and then figuring out like, how do you want to do this in your organization? And this is something that I don't think is going to change in the future.
No.
Not in the near future. It might be that it changes further along the line, but right now at least you do need to understand what it is actually you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
When you're putting the AI butter on the toast, that you get it done right.
Where do you see us in being in like 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10. Yeah, that's pretty wild since we're currently working in a 1 to 2 month span, maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
Think what?
A couple of years. Let's take a couple of years. It's probably soft. A couple of years can be something between 3 and 5 or something like this. Yeah. So in a couple of years, I see us having availability to universal tools in the sense that we can ask our AI agents for a tool to do X, Y, and Z, and it will formulate a plan for the tool, generate the code, and compile it so that we have a tool available on request.
So we're moving more from developing apps and IT solutions to building capabilities. And in there, the key point is in focusing if it should be done, how it should be done, how it should work, and how to make sure it does what it's supposed to do and not something else.
Yeah.
So it is very much about building capabilities.
Yeah, consumable capabilities, basically. Yeah. And thinking about it from the perspective of not from like, how do I get the user to surf to my site and click on my banner or something else. It is, how do I get the user's AI tools to recognize that if they want to come fish in Rovaniemi, this is my business and this is how the AI will find that business. So it becomes a completely new kind of not search engine optimization, but it's AI flow optimization, basically.
Yeah.
You can quote me on that one.